This podcast is a proud member of Pod Nation Media Network. Listen, here's the truth. If it's not something you love to do, automation is mandatory. You didn't start your podcast to spend hours editing clips. You started it to create, connect, and grow your audience. But here's the problem. Every other platform works with video podcasts, and manual editing eats up your most valuable asset, your time. That's where Opus Clip changes everything. Upload your video, and Opus Clip will automatically find the gold nugget moments, auto-clip the captions for the best parts, perfect for TikTok, Reels, and Shorts. 1 hour-long episode becomes 10, 20, even 30 viral-ready clips in minutes. The tool even predicts each clip's viral potential, so you know exactly what to post. No more tenuous editing, no more wasted hours, just you staying in the place that you love to be, creating content that matters. Head to podnationopus.com for your free trial and get back to doing what you do best. Stop editing and start creating now.
I see ghosts, specters all around me, living in stock, blazing the dark. One by one, pictures gather around me. Where those moonflowers used to rust no more. Specters gather around here, living in stock, blazing the dark. Night by night, stare into the black where moonflowers used to grow.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Paranormal the Normal. I'm your host, as always, Jeremy, trying to make this world seem a little more normal. And I kind of lied to you guys. I said Thursday night was the last interview. Surprise. But this is the official last one for the hiatus, folks. So be prepared to miss me for the next few months. But as always, I bring a guest with me to help me on this epic quest one last time. And my guest tonight, well, this morning, I should say, is Fiona Thorson, teacher of alternatives to the alternative of recovery. Which, what does that mean? Well, you'll find out pretty soon, so calm yourself. But how are you doing today, Fiona?
Doing good. How are you, Jeremy?
Busy day, but I am happy to take a break so I can podcast one last time for the next few months. Let me start off the same way I start everything off. What brought you down the road to this spiritual life you live now?
Oh, lots of things. I guess early on, maybe as a kid, I'm not sure where it came from, but I was interested in paranormal stuff as a kid and as a teenager, and I dabbled into, Wicca and occult, and I was studying it, and what does this mean, and what does that mean? Then later, not so much that stuff, but I got into more like the healing arts, and I trained as a Kundalini yoga teacher. I had some health issues start at about age 24, and so I was, looking for some kind of solution, physical solutions, spiritual solutions. I dabbled in things like Reiki and did some psychic development trainings, a lot of it out of curiosity. I think it was the health crisis that occurred, slowly over about a decade. I just got worse and worse. And at one point I started to get better, and I had basically hit bottom, and I found some solutions that worked for me. And I've just been getting better ever since, I suppose.
Let's talk about what actually worked, because you named a lot of things that we talked about in the show before that apparently didn't work for you because they don't work for everybody, but that's just the way life goes. Mm-hmm. But what did work for you?
Well, what did work? So in 2014, when I was at my worst in my health, I got a diagnosis of Lyme disease. So I thought, okay, great. I had something to work with. Finally, I didn't know what was going on for so many years. I even thought it was starting to believe that maybe I was making it up in my head, So what started to work, I guess in the beginning, I did some naturopathic treatments that helped pull me out of like the worst of it. So I did IVs with the naturopath, of ozone and laser IV and another couple of things. One was called low dose immunotherapy. So those helped get me back on my feet, but I still wasn't better. In that time, though, I was doing a lot of introspection, and I didn't realize what I was doing. I mean, I was using the tools I had learned from my meditation and from, everything I'd learned in the past with using like mind-body techniques to help myself get better. But I was still having relapses. And then it was about 2017 that I discovered something called nanoparticle poisoning. And so I was referred to the YouTube channel of a guy named Tony Pantelleresco, and he's a herbalist who was showing people how to make their own remedies on YouTube. So I started following his channel and his podcast, and he was talking about this thing called nanoparticle poisoning. I'm like, wow, this is just really weird. And I didn't believe what he was saying some of the time, but I followed anyway. I just followed the breadcrumbs. I researched what I was hearing and some of the documentation and tips that he would give on how to do the research on this stuff. So as I was doing my own research, I was like, wow, I think he's right about some of these things. So I started to implement what he was showing people, which was using an electromagnetic pulsing device, as well as a bunch of other things to detox. And that's what started to work. I started to get stronger. My symptoms that I had had for years started to dissipate, and I was not having the relapses anymore. So, it was painful even just to carry groceries in from the car, and that started to go away. So yeah, the nanoparticle detoxing, heavy metal detoxing. I did get tested for heavy metals, and that was something I had to deal with. And also moving to an area that had lower electromagnetic frequencies. So those three things I feel were key in helping me get better. And then at the same time, I was working through some emotional stuff as I was, spending lots of time by myself and facing those demons. And yeah, that's what got me better.
Well, actually, the first question I have is, Lyme disease has to come from a tick, does it not?
That's the most accepted view, yeah, of where it comes from. It's not the only one. Depending on who you're asking, it's not agreed upon. Most medical literature will tell you that it's from ticks only. Others will also tell you that it comes from black flies, mosquitoes, sexually transmitted, also from mom to baby. I believe that if you know the story behind Lyme disease and where it came from, Lyme, Connecticut, you would find that there was a lab nearby, a bio lab, where many people got sick from some mysterious thing back in the 70s. And I do believe that what we see as Lyme disease nowadays is probably some kind of genetically modified bacteria. It's a bacterial infection, but people who have Lyme nowadays and try to get rid of it using antibiotics, homeopathic stuff, everything they can throw at it, and they still relapse and don't get better, except when you implement some kind of technology that will knock out nanoprogramming from these particles. And I believe that's why I got better. So I can explain a little bit the nanoparticle programming bit if you'd like.
Well, it's fascinating. I always thought Lyme disease has been around for ever. I didn't think it was only since the 70s type of thing. I never really looked into it because I never had to deal with it personally, or no one I really ever knew had it. Thankfully, but because it's nothing to scoff at. That's for damn sure. It's a very serious disease, and we are very careful to make sure that that's why that's one of the reasons we have chickens, so that our kids don't have to worry about ticks when they're playing outside. But it's a very serious disease. I'm not gonna say I don't know people that have had it. I've known people that have had it, not, well, word of mouth type of thing, not really personally, but and it takes them out for a long time. And
Mhm.
but it's interesting. I never actually looked into the history of it because just unless you have it, why would you?
Yeah.
And it just make I guess it came from a lab though, kind of. That's strange. I
Well,
mean,
you're right though in that it's been around longer than since the 70s, but what the story is behind Lyme is that they had this bacteria in the lab there and were playing with it, were doing something with it, probably altering it. Kind of like if you think of like genetically modified fruit, banana.
oh, I think she froze, folks. Let's give it a second, see if she pops back on.
Me? Oh,
Oh,
sorry, it froze up there. Can you still hear me?
yeah, no, it seemed like you froze up my end, but
Yeah,
either
maybe
way,
it was this end. Sorry.
no, it
um,
happens.
so what did I tell? Oh, I mentioned, yeah. So yes, you're right that Lyme has been around longer, but the lab in Lyme, Connecticut, I believe, was playing around with the bacteria, and then it got out. This modified strain of Lyme got out, which is I think what we see nowadays. And the reason it's so hard to get rid of it, people who have Lyme have like this, they have chronic Lyme disease. And um, if it's been a genetically modified bacteria, then it can withstand a lot of the old remedies that we would have put on it, like antibacterials and homeopathics, etc. So I believe, I mean, I don't have 100% proof of this, but I believe from what I've learned and my experience that this nanoparticle detox, with the electromagnetic pulsing device, along with cutting out certain foods and doing regular stuff like that, I believe that's what got me better.
Interesting. And so did they have you try like? Because I know there's a typical treatment for people with Lyme disease. I think it consists of like 6 shots or something like that over a period of time to help fight it. But I'm not 100% on that because like I said, I never had to deal with it. The typical treatment just didn't work, or
Well, in Canada, they don't give you the typical treatment of like
oh,
injections of antibiotics. I know a number of people. I met a lot of people in the Lyme community through the support groups I was in, and some of them went to the United States to get this type of treatment. I did what they could offer me there, which was oral antibiotics for about 6 weeks, which is normal to give someone if they've been bitten by a tick and they have, the classic bullseye rash, and they
yeah,
get it if they get it within the first week or two, or sorry, the first few days. If you start to take antibiotics after a tick bite, then they give you 6 weeks of antibiotics. I'd been sick for 10 years. I did the 6 weeks anyway, and it didn't do anything. It kind of made me feel worse. So that's why I went searching for other solutions.
that's interesting that Canada doesn't do things that way. I mean, I know Canadian healthcare is different from healthcare in the States. It has its goods and bads compared to the States, but
Yeah.
the fact that it's free be the main good thing. But also, I know it comes with its downfalls because of that. So it's interesting. I didn't realize you were Canadian. That's my mistake. But I mean, I know in the States you have to just get like 6 very painful shots or something along those lines, and usually it helps get rid of it. But
Mm.
it's just not something. I mean, it's something you don't want to get to begin with. So it's, I mean, if you can avoid getting it, obviously, folks. But so, so how did they finally figure out it was Lyme disease? That's kind of what. If it took 10 years to figure it out, what took them 10 years to figure out it? I mean,
I was never tested for Lyme, and they don't really test you for Lyme. I didn't think of it either until a naturopath mentioned it to me. So it started off like, what did I have going on? It started off with a thyroid problem. I just a random blood test that I did showed that my thyroid was underactive. So I started taking the medication for that, and it seemed to even me out. I was like, okay, this is fine. But the doctor said, I asked her, how long am I going to have to take this? She said, oh, usually people take it for life. And I was like, what? for life. What are you talking about? Oh, and she didn't really want to talk. She was writing me the prescription and shooing me out the door. So I went home and started researching it. And anyway, I took the medication. I started to feel basically okay. And then I just left it at that until more symptoms started to creep up. I had digestive symptoms. I had bladder symptoms. I was starting to get really brain fogged. My memory was going. I started to get panic attacks. It was on and on like this, like I said, till 2014. But it was getting worse, and I got tested for diabetes insipidus, a number of times. I got tested for celiac disease, and oftentimes I'd go into the doctor. They'd say, "Okay, your celiac disease result, it's negative. You're okay." So I'm like, "Okay, that's it." And then I'd go home and I'd be like, "Well, why do I still have this symptom?" And I'd even tell the doctor too, "Well, I still feel crappy. What's going on?" Oh, it's just IBS. I was told this. Everybody has IBS. Or, "Oh, you're getting older." Oh, this is a good one. I'll tell you this story. I was 34 at the time. I'm 45 now. I was 34. I went to a doctor asking for help. One of my family members said, "Go to this doctor. She's a really good one." So I went, and I was trying to tell her all my symptoms in the short time that I knew I had. And she had kind of a reason or excuse for a lot of what I was experiencing. Like, I had this pain in my body. My gut was not doing well. My digestion was bad. My bladder was overactive, all of this stuff. And I said, "Well, you know what? I've got these spots on my back that another doctor told me were aging spots." She goes, "Yeah, we get that when we get older." I'm like, "Okay, but what about my memory?" I said, "My memory, I'm losing my memory. And I know this because my friends are telling me that I'm forgetting these really important things." She goes, "Well, that happens when we get older." I said, "I'm 34. She goes, "You look fine. You're fine." And I was just so shocked that I just walked out of there, and I didn't know what to think. By the time I got to my car, I was like in tears and imagining myself, punching that woman in the nose. Not that I would do that. I was just so, anyway. And that was the last time I kind of had any faith in the medical system for a chronic issue. For acute issues, I think they're great.
Yeah.
If you got a broken bone or whatever, but not for the chronic. So, anyway, that's when I started to see a naturopath again. And one of the naturopaths I saw said, "You sound a lot like my Lyme disease patients. You should get tested, but you have to get a test done in the States. We send your blood away to a lab in the States because in Canada, they don't do the proper testing." So that's what got me the diagnosis.
I mean, once again, this is not the first time I've heard on this show or in general in life. Today's healthcare systems, or even a decade ago's healthcare systems, it's the same here in the States too. Like, it seems like doctors just want to get you in and get you out as fast as possible so they can collect that money from the insurance company and not give a crap about the actual patient. I mean, I remember when I was younger, like even 15 years ago, like in the 2000s, like, it was just, you'd spend easily a half hour, 45 minutes with a doctor when you went to see a doctor, and they would actually talk to you and try to figure out what's going on with you. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, it's just, "Oh, well, we can't figure out what's wrong with any of these simple tests we have for the basic stuff, so you're fine. Have a good day."
Yeah.
Or go see this specialist and then this specialist and this specialist, and we're just going to keep sending you around the block until you ring up your insurance and your deductible so high that you can't afford to go to any more doctors. Like, that's more of a state thing, obviously, but it's just the way it goes. And I've had this conversation many times on the show. It seems like the medical community needs a revamp. It needs a complete revamp. They need to let more Eastern medical practitioners come in and actually be accepted by insurances in the States, and just be a regular part of the medical community, because Western medicine is not doing it anymore like it did 50, 60 years ago. It's not the groundbreaking medical wave that we need. We need the Eastern stuff as well, because the Reiki, the acupuncture to a lesser degree, and all these other types of systems that people in the East have been doing for thousands of years, and they work. They work. I mean, even I've had energy surgeons on this show who will never actually cut you open, well, physically at least, but they have healed people with problems like yours that they can't figure out what's wrong with them. They've been able to figure it out and heal them within a couple of weeks, and it's why is this not accepted as a general practice? Like it blows my freaking. I mean, I know why it's not going to talk about the money, but it's just blows my mind that they don't. That no one's came in and just had a more open mind about it and said this has to change. Just blows my freaking mind every day of my life.
Yeah, and I've seen on the other side. I'm a reflexologist too. I do reflexology with people, and I've had clients who've had symptoms disappear over a period of sessions, and we're just working on the reflex points on the feet. I think nowadays in Canada I think it might be accepted in some insurance. The acupuncture is, and reflexology is in some insurance companies. So they're kind of catching on there. But we need a more holistic approach for sure.
Okay. This is where I got to ask, because I don't think I've heard that term before. What is reflexology?
Reflexology, it's stimulating reflex points on the feet or the hands that correspond to the rest of the body. So there are just using my hand. If this was a foot, well, you can use the hand too. But if this is the heel of your foot and your toes here, the reflex points, we press on them, just like little minute but strong pushing on the points. And there are reflex points that correspond to like the brain, the eye, so that all the toes reflect the head. And then as you go down the foot here, this would be like the chest reflexes, the heart, the lungs, etc. And then as you go down, the abdominal points are in the lower part, or sort of more like the middle part of the hand or the foot. And then the heel and the around here is like the pelvis. So you could superimpose the body of a person on the hand or the foot. And by stimulating those points, it helps the nervous system to relax and get the energy, the chi flowing. And people heal from that type of relaxation and getting the energy moving.
That's interesting. I mean, kind of reminds me of chiropractors to some degree, mixed with with massage therapy, basically, because I mean that they do a lot with that with massage therapy with stress points and all that. So, and it does work. I'm not gonna lie. I've had it done, and it freaking works amazingly. They put something on your foot and your back feels better all of a sudden. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
What kind of dark magic is this? But it's
more along the lines of acupuncture, like the acupuncture points or acupressure points.
I have never had acupuncture done. Having needles put into my skin does not seem to make me want to go do that too much. But I keep saying one of these days I gotta try it at least just to see. I mean, I don't know. It seems like it'd be painful, but I from what I've been told, it's not really painful. You don't even really feel it, but it's just, I don't know. I don't trust people putting freaking sharp objects in my skin.
I don't blame you, but it is pretty beneficial.
It sounds like it would be, and I mean, reflexology. I definitely would give that a try. I ain't gonna lie, that sounds pretty interesting, and it makes sense. I mean, I've had people who are hand experts on this show, and the things they say they can do with just the hand is unbelievable. I mean, yeah, everything's connecting your body. I 100% get that point. It just still kind of mind blowing that, it is. People have major back surgeries, and all they really need is some pressure points hit. But so I don't know. It's just very strange. But I guess so. What do you think are the main reasons that people have all these chronic illnesses all of a sudden nowadays that you didn't hear about 20, 30 years ago? Like, it seems like you see so many people online nowadays that have some kind of disease that you've never heard of. I mean, I know a lot of people believe that like the medical system is just making up these diseases to try to get money out of people, but which it's possible. But What do you think are the causes?
I think there's a number of causes. Number one, environmental toxins like heavy metals in the food and water supply, the nanoparticles that are in the food and water, our clothing, medicines, all kinds of packaged foods, of course, have this stuff. So that's number one. Number two, I think, is probably, I mean, there's a lot to be said about trauma, stress, and how that affects the body and your health as well. Like, I didn't think for myself, I didn't think there was any sort of real emotional thing that went along with my illness. But as I look back and look at how the kind of the stages of my recovery, I was using some very useful physical tools like the EMP device and chelation drugs. But at the same time, I was having like a lot of time, like I said earlier, about some like deep introspection, because all I was left was with myself for a while, because I was just too sick to do anything or go anywhere. I had my parents' help. I spent a lot of time alone, and I realized I had some baggage in there that really hadn't let go yet. And so I think that could be a part of it for people. And I think some of it comes down to like mass media and, as you kind of said, they kind of push these diseases out there on the news as if they're real, but maybe they're not, but people believe it. I think our belief has a lot to do with it, and the fear that goes behind it.
I think a lot of it is a lot of it nowadays I believe is like all these TV shows of my Strange Addiction and all these other TV shows that show people who have these strange medical conditions that you never heard of. I think it's slowly turning a lot of people into hypochondriacs, where all they have to do is hear about something new in the news and they think they have it and they have to go get checked out immediately. Like I think that's part. I'm not saying that's the whole thing, but that's definitely a huge part of it nowadays. Is people are weak-minded and they think that they need to believe everything they see on all these reality shows, when really it's a lot of it's made up crap, scripted just to get views. I mean, we all know this. Well, most of us know this at least, but I think that's a huge part of it. I mean, you're right. The environment has gotten worse. The environment has gotten worse in the last 25, 30 years than it ever was. I mean, supposedly, if you believe in that stuff, I know everybody doesn't believe that all these things like global warming and everything else are telling us about, but it's just the environment's definitely gotten worse. I mean, the air quality warnings we get like every day now are just horrible.
Well, yeah, and the electromagnetics is another huge factor. There's so many more cell towers and cell phones, and all the wireless technology that's out there right now has a huge effect on people's health. And I think that's another major one. I just read somebody's article yesterday. I don't remember who it was. Somebody on Substack was talking about some horses at a racetrack over the past year and a half that are dying in record numbers. And they're studying, they're trying to figure out what it's been killing these horses, and they realize it's probably a wireless device that they've put on all these horses now. So they've got a wireless device to measure the horse's step, their heart rate, where they are. It's got a GPS system and everything. And plus they have the metal shoes, which are a conductor. So each horse has one of these devices plus these conductive shoes, and they're being injured and killed. They get so injured that they have to euthanize most of them. Some of them just drop dead. So they figure it's wireless tech.
That's heartbreaking and just sad. I mean, it's shit. And yeah, there's a lot more electromagnetic radiation nowadays than there ever was, because you're right, because of all the cell towers and all the unknown things they put out there that we don't know about. I mean, who knows what the government's putting deep in the woods to get signal everywhere. I mean, it's just, who knows what the hell else they're doing in the woods half the time. But it's just, there's so many things that are affecting us today. It's ridiculous. I mean, yeah, when we were kids, we all heard like, oh, the people who live under power lines are special. They get radiation, they're special. And I mean, it was always like a urban legend type thing because I knew people lived in power lines and they never were any different. But it just, I don't think power lines back then were anything compared to what we have nowadays. That's for sure.
Yeah, they could be more powerful. I mean, and like, how do we fix that stuff? You know,
I'm smoking a cigarette right now.
I try to keep my house wireless free if possible, and I try to educate people to do the same. Instead of Wi-Fi, hook up your computer. You can do the same for your phones and tablets and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, cell phones have made things worse, definitely. I mean, we're basically carrying around a radiation device in our pockets every day.
Yeah.
And that's not healthy, and they wonder why so many people have fertility issues and so many people have chronic illnesses that are related to the lower half of our body. It's just, it makes sense. I mean, we basically are playing our own doom and we're letting it happen. Which, I don't know.
Yeah, we are. We are. We have to, I don't know. I guess it's educate people on it. But it's hard to get people to change their habits. We love those phones and they're useful, and the way that society's been engineered is we kind of need it now, or at least that's what it seems like.
Well, I mean, I honestly myself couldn't imagine not having a cell phone, especially as a podcaster, and all the time I spent in like medical offices lately. Like if I didn't have a cell phone to keep me distracted, I would have lost my damn mind. But it's become a necessity. I mean, yeah, I didn't have one for the first 17 years of my life, and I think I read a lot more. I think it's the difference. I just read a lot more because that's the only thing I could do to bring around actually. So we're also losing intelligence because of this as well. So I mean, it's a hard question. Like, would the world be better without cell phones? It's a yes and a no. I mean, no more it's convenience. No GPS in your car anymore because you have one in your pocket. No needing to go buy physical music because you have something in your pocket that can play every song ever created. So it's just, I mean, it's a money saving thing, and it's everything else. Like it's convenience. That's the biggest issue. But are the problems that come with it worth it? Are they really worth it?
Yeah. And one quote or paraphrase, I guess I like to tell people too, is as I was learning about Lyme disease and how to recover and what it is and all that stuff, I came across Dr. Dietrich Klinghardt, who's quite well known in the Lyme community for helping people recover. And he's got a clinic in the States, and he has people come into his program, but you have to fulfill 2 requirements before you go into his program. And one is to eliminate any mold that you may have in your house. And number 2 is to reduce the electromagnetic fields in your house too. So that means taking off the Wi-Fi, not using a phone, shielding the space where you sleep, all that kind of stuff, changing your LED and CFL light bulbs to incandescent bulbs. And if you don't do those 2 things, you don't get into his Lyme recovery treatment program because you just won't get better.
And those are not 2 easy things to ask of anybody, really. I mean,
no, but they're that important.
Which that right there should make everybody stop and think and say, "Wait a minute, what is this guy onto, and what can we do to fix it?" I mean,
I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think the solution I can see eventually coming is eventually they will upgrade everything so that it doesn't affect us anymore. It'll still have the same functions, but they'll find ways where it won't affect the human body anymore. The only question with that is, it'd be great, but the only question with that is, will it be too late?
Yeah, good question.
Will the damage be done at that point already that they can't reverse it? But I don't know. I mean, we'll have to look to the future and see if that happens. I mean, I sure as heck ain't going to be the one that creates that issue, that solves that, I'm pretty sure. I don't think that's my purpose. But there are
I
smart
think
men.
it's
There are
possible.
smart men and women out there that who could, that's possible. But there are smart men and women out there who probably figured it out before I ever could. So maybe. I mean, as a podcaster, I use my cell phone more than most people. So I
Mhm.
can't imagine life without it. I really can't. I mean,
Well, I
things are
mean,
just
there's also things you can do with that too, like when you're not physically typing on it. If you're just having a phone call, just use a stand or a selfie stick, or use a case when you're carrying it. Have a Faraday case that you put it in, so it's not irradiating your body.
yeah. I mean, then comes the issue of you have a whole nother thing you got to. Actually, do they make Faraday cases that are like cell phone size? I mean,
Yep.
I never actually looked into this because it doesn't affect, like I said, same as the Lyme disease thing. It never affected me personally or anybody I really knew, at least that I know of. So it's like not one of those things I actively look into. Like, is there a way around this? I mean,
Mhm.
it just never crossed my path. But I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, it makes sense, and maybe that is where, but maybe eventually, maybe a requirement for cell phones you have to keep them in that kind of case. Maybe there's something that's all they'll sell really is those kinds of cases because I mean, if they make them cell phone size already, they could make them in 1,000 different ways that everybody would want one. But
Yeah.
you were gonna say something right before I cut you off in the beginning of that rant of mine.
Oh, I was just going to say, yeah, I do believe it's possible that they can, if they don't already have the technology, we could have this kind of technology and the convenience that comes with it, I think, without the health problems. Not the way it's set up now, not the way that it's, beaming us night and day, but there must be a way. I would think there's got to be a way that we can still have our internet and do calls like this and, stuff like that without it being damaging to our bodies. I don't know what it is, but I think it's possible.
It's definitely possible, and as Jessica commented, packaged junk food is another problem. I mean, as someone who Instacarts and is in stores a lot,
Hmm.
the amount of prepared foods that you can buy nowadays in like the dry grocery section is freaking ridiculous. And there are so many things that just like I wouldn't even I look at these things I pick up for customers, I'm like, I wouldn't eat this. Like this looks
Hmm.
like something that shouldn't be made this way. I mean, it's a if you make it from scratch, yeah, it's one thing because you're getting all the nutrients, but I guarantee you with the process they use to make this shelf stable, the nutrients are freaking gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
And
mean,
the preservatives that go into those. Ugh, no.
I mean, yeah, and then they want to, but that's what they make cheap nowadays compared to all the fresh food, which is more expensive and almost unaffordable. I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
how it is in Canada, but I know in America, food prices are freaking at the point where it's almost you can't afford to feed your family good food anymore because it's so ridiculous, unless you're someone who's making really, really good money.
Yeah.
But
It's not cheap to eat well, to eat healthy food.
it's not. I mean, the price of meat, especially, like, and that's the thing is you don't even know these days if it's real meat or lab grown meat. Like, it's just I mean, especially in America, like lab grown meat has become a huge thing.
Hmm.
So I mean, I just it's hard. And what was I gonna say? I mean, you could, especially, I mean, like you go to buy any good steak nowadays, even it's just unless you go to an actual farm, you go to the store, you're paying $60 for like what used to be a good $15 steak, and it's ridiculous. It pisses me off, and then it even has me looking at like the non meat options, and it's just like, you know. These almost sound more appealing just because you know what's in them. You know where they're being made. You know they're not being it's not supposed meat that could be grown in a lab somewhere from cell cultures. Like it's
Mm.
which it's disturbing. I think that we probably have been eating that for a while now in America. And no, I mean, is it the same in Canada? Like I haven't talked to anybody in Canada in a while about like the state of the food economy, but
It's about the same. Yeah, maybe I don't know. I think it might be a bit worse where you are, but it's coming.
I'm sure.
It's coming to Canada too. Like the fake meat and cheese section gets bigger and bigger, and all the other food gets more expensive. And like you said, the packaged junk food, as tasty as some people might feel it is, it's cheaper And that's why people are becoming more unhealthy. Another reason why, because that's what they can afford, so that's what they eat.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, I the amount of ramen and the amount of other mac and cheese and all these other like shelf stable things I pick up with people. It's ridiculous, and they buy a lot of them in quantity. I mean, I get it; it's affordable, it's cheap, you can get a lot of it. But I can tell you the amount of meat I have to pick up in these orders is less and less every week. Like I get so many orders in a row with no meat in them at all, or no fresh vegetables or produce or fruit either. I'm like, what the fuck? How can people live like this? I mean, I don't get as much fresh produce as I think people should have, and I always am like regretting it. But it's just unaffordable. I mean, and that's the other thing. The produce we're growing in this world now is getting worse and worse, like the condition of it. You
Mm-hmm.
look at the store, like you're trying to look for a good avocado or a good orange, and they're all just nasty. They're all
Yeah.
just nasty looking. Potatoes they're all green now with the arsenic, and they all look like they're rotting, looks as fast as could be. It just seems like we need to revamp our food system as well as our medical system. And honestly, the two are related. I mean, if they revamp one, the other one might thrive a little better. But
Yeah.
maybe
And I
maybe
think
there were. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
you mentioned already, like, if you go buy from a farmer, I think that's one of the best ways is get to know who your farmers are in the area and buy directly from them. Or, if you got the space to build yourself like a little indoor tower garden with some lights, you can grow your own vegetables. I think that's probably going to be what we're going to have to do now. I know lots of people are growing their own food, greenhouses and hydroponics and stuff like that. I think that'd be the way to go.
But once again, it becomes a convenience thing, same as
Yeah.
a cell phone thing, because it's easier to go to a store where everything is in one building and you could go around and pick what you want out of the sections versus, driving to this farmer to get my beef, drive to this farmer across town to get the pork, drive to this farmer to get my fruit and vegetables. Like
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. And then it's also, oh, this farmer doesn't have this type of fruit or vegetable available because it's not the right time of season.
Mm.
Oh, I really wanted that. Oh, I guess I'll go to the store and buy something that came in from across the world. And the condition of it is crappy because it came in from across the world. And if they freeze it, it's going to damage it. It'd still be worse than it is now. So it's just, I don't. It's not a battle you really can win easily. I mean, we have to go
I
back.
think it would take some planning, planning if you can buy at one time of year, buy a bunch of stuff and freeze it or freeze dry it or dry it or whatever. And of course, I know that takes time and effort as well. I think that's just kind of, we either have to find those ways that work for us. Not everything is going to work for us, especially with schedules and, babies coming and stuff like that.
Oh, it's true. Human beings are busier than they ever been in history. I mean, there used to be always someone at home who had time all day to do this type of stuff normally because besides basic household upkeep and watching the kids, they had nothing better to do. So, I mean, and hell, that was before TV was invented even. I mean, once TV was invented, that was just the beginning of the downfall because it gave us something to do. And that's not always a good thing. I mean, there's just less time to do these things. I say all the time, I'd love to have like an indoor hydroponic garden all year round that I could grow things. But who has the time or money or energy to freaking go into that? Like, I don't have it. Would cost too much. It would take up too much time. It's just that simple. Like everything else, it's convenience, and that's the biggest problem in the world. Is convenience has been given to us, and once something's convenient, you're not going to change it back the way it was.
Yeah, it's hard. I'm the same way. I've had my eye on a tower garden for 3 years and I still don't have it. So, yeah, I know what you mean.
It's difficult. I mean, it's the same as like a New Year's resolution when you say, "Oh, I'm going to go to the gym, start exercising more this year." Yeah, no, you're not. Maybe for a week, maybe for 2 weeks, then you're going to forget to cancel the membership and pay for it for 6 months and better not go. That's the way it usually works for everybody. I mean, we all have these high intentions and high hopes of doing something, and it's not going to happen because it just becomes inconvenient. That's once again that word comes up. It becomes inconvenient.
Well, I think a lot of that is programming too. We've been programmed to take the easier way, and even though we know, okay, I have to get in shape. I'm going to get out for a walk every day, or I'm going to go to the gym, or whatever the exercise routine is. But it's hard for us to get over the hump of the resistance and then make it a true habit. But we can do that. It takes not easy, but you can do it.
It's true. It's like when you have to. It's like when someone tells you, when a doctor tells you got to quit smoking or it's going to kill you. You can do it. It's going to be painful. It's going to be painstaking. It's going to drive you freaking insane, but you can do it. Mm-hmm. I haven't been able to, but maybe someone else can. That's just the way it goes. I mean, and I'm thinking about it now. I was just thinking about what we said earlier about Eastern medicine, and I'm thinking, why isn't there? I mean, because like any insurance page you go to, you could find doctors that are covered by your insurance that are for any Western medicine. Why isn't there basically a database somewhere online of that all Eastern medical practitioners can be on? So if you could be a little portal where you could put in your symptoms even, and they would say, we recommend these following specialists, and then you could find one in your area. I mean, it doesn't have to be nothing to do with insurance even, just there needs to be a place where people can find all these people with easier access. Because I've had a lot of Eastern medical practitioners on the show, and you can find them, but you gotta know a name. You gotta, because if you just Google, for example, acupuncture specialist or reflexology specialist on the Google, you're gonna get a shitload of pages, but none that really direct you to someone close to you exactly or where to go. I mean, there are some out there that don't really advertise their services even. They just depend on word of mouth, and there needs to be a database. Like, there needs to be a mass database where all this stuff can just be put on, and that'll help the word of Eastern medicine spread enough that maybe Western medicine will take freaking notice of it and be like, oh, wait a minute, we need to start including this now. It's going to be that big. We need to include it.
That's a great idea. You could create that.
I was just going to say, that's I do not know how to design anything on a web base, but I can't physically create it, but mentally and ideologically, I could possibly help with creating it. Put it that way. But maybe, actually, I should look into possibly. Maybe I'm gonna stop talking now before someone steals my idea. But because that actually could make money eventually. But yeah, that's something like that needs to be done. And the same could be said for what we're talking about with food, like trying to find farmers. There should be some kind of app on your phone that tells you where every local farmer is and what they offer, and they could edit so they have what they offer at that moment. That way people it makes it more convenient, and it will make it work better for people because they won't have to drive all over town. They can just look at the app and be like, fucking filter the map. Who has carrots today? Oh, these two do. Okay, I'll go to one of them. Let's plan that. And then, who has beef today? Bam, bam. And we start mapping it out, like making it easier on us and find people in a cluster or an area that have everything we're looking for. So we only have to go to a few stops instead of going all over town for 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
They have the ability to make all these apps they make for stupid freaking crap. Like the stupidest shit you can imagine there's apps for. But yet there's not these apps that would actually help humanity in any way. And as far as I know, no app like that exists, as far as I know, at least in my area.
I haven't heard of one either.
Maybe in big cities, I don't know. Maybe it's more of a thing. I couldn't tell you, but I never heard about any app like this. And shit, I'm just an idea machine today. Fuck. I need to go start patenting shit. But I don't know. But that's the question: is why are other people not implementing these ideas? I'm sure other people have thought of them. I'm sure of that because I'm not that original. But I'm sure someone thought of them, but why haven't they been implemented by any government or?
Well,
the WIC Association in America, the Women, Infant, Children, and the DTA in America, they want you to eat better, so that the people will give you food stamps. They want you to eat better. So yeah, you get rebates if you go to farms, but you try to look at their map of farms in your area, and it's so glitchy and so horribly made that you give up because you're just like, I can't find it, and half the farms on there don't exist anymore. Like, there's no database. That's the problem. Is there's no database.
I think you're right in that we'd have to start with our own, our own neighborhood and our own people that we know, and start making a list of a database and share it with your friends, and then someone who does know web stuff can maybe run with it, because governments definitely, I wouldn't rely on them for that.
I mean, I don't think it should be a government thing. Well, not a top government thing, but task the USDA with it. Task like Farmers of America or whatever. Task someone in their organization to keep it up to date, to get the farmers to agree to it, to get them to constantly update what they have available. I mean, make it as simple as possible for all of them. That'd be the key. But come on, government, freaking hire me already. I'm already making the idea for you. Just freaking do it. Pay me money for it. Put it out there, manifesting it in the universe right now. But I don't know. These are all simple solutions I'm thinking of. And if I could think of them, why aren't the government people thinking of them? Why aren't the geniuses thinking of them trying to make it better? That's the question. That's the real question, is why are they not doing this, unless they're not doing it on purpose because they want to control us?
I think that's the answer. I don't think that it's easier to control us when we're sick and not thinking straight.
Exactly. If we have to spend all our time in medical facilities, if we have to spend all our time on the computer Googling things, guess where they can track us from? All these places. Guess where the government can see has been they can see when you've been to the doctor, to the hospital. It's easily accessible. They can see what you're doing online because IP addresses can be tracked, and IP addresses are registered usually. So, yeah, I mean, it's as simple as that, folks. And as much as for all my conspiracy people out there, there's a conspiracy you need to focus on. But
getting better, I think the healthier we get and the more we get the gunk out of our body, the clearer we'll be, and we can maybe have the stamina and think more clearly about what we're doing and strategize our lives in ways that are more beneficial.
I mean, it makes sense. And to bring it all back to the medical standpoint, if we have to go to the doctor less, then the medical society can improve and can go back to what they used to be, when you only need to go to them if you had a broken bone or if you're having a baby or something along those lines. Something simple that they can actually know the answer to, rather than, I mean, because I don't blame them fully, because they don't even know. There's so many diseases nowadays. Trying to narrow down which one someone has can be a challenge. I mean,
yeah,
they don't all have these bright red flag symptoms that you can just wave it at and be like, yep, it's that. No, a lot of these diseases are common symptoms. So it's
and many of the doctors, they're not trained in nutrition or chronic illness. I mean, maybe some of them are, but generally they're trained inside that little box, and within that box, they're probably pretty good. But beyond that, for the chronic stuff and daily health, it's pretty lacking, I think.
Yeah, they're basically trained for emergencies. That's what doctors are trained for. And apparently they're not being trained for that enough, because you go to ER nowadays and God, you're waiting 24 hours to get seen. But it's just sad. And that's where urgent cares came from. But some of them, you go in there, you're waiting 6 hours to get seen if it's a busy day. I mean, some of them you go and you're seen within a half hour. Like lately, that's the way it's been for me, and it's an improvement. Definitely a freaking improvement. But 5 years past the huge pandemic we had. But it's, I don't know. All these societies need to be revamped. Food, medical, technological. They all need to be revamped to make it better for humans. Do I see it happening in my lifetime? No. I don't. I'm not that optimistic. I don't see it happening in my lifetime. In my kids' lifetime, maybe a little hope there. Maybe. I think our kids will see a lot of things wrong with their parents, and their parents will tell them. Well, I mean, people call it crazy conspiracies, but parents will tell the kids these crazy conspiracies, and the kids will see the truth behind it all and be like, wait a minute now. We need to do better. And maybe when they get older, they will do better. Who knows? It's 100% possible. But we're getting close to the end here. But I guess the last question I would ask you is, if people believe they have these chronic issues such as you had, where should they start? Where should they come? Where should be the first place they go so they're not running in circles like a chicken with their head cut off?
Well, I can help people to avoid running around like that. They can try my website, fionaforhealth.com. I got a bunch of resources on there, some blog articles. And if they want to talk to me, I offer a free consult, first free consult. And on my contact, just fionaforhealth.com, go to contact and they can book a call with me there. But yeah, check out the blog. There's lots to look at. I got some videos as well.
Oh, there you go. There you go, folks. There actually is a place for this, at least, where you can find all this information in one place. Which I don't think I've really heard of anything like that. I mean, I've had enough people on here offering their services, but not really like a database for people with the same issues. So that's something different for you folks.
Well, hopefully it'll give people a shortcut. That's kind of why I started the blog, so people have a shortcut to some solutions rather than, it took me almost 15 years to get something that actually worked. So this should give them a short path.
And 15 years is no short time. I mean, that's what, sixth of a human life if they have a natural long life. So, I mean, that's a long amount of time for anybody to have to spend trying to figure out what's going on with them so they can enjoy that time, actually. And that's a long time to not enjoy your life fully. I mean, it really is. And it saddens me to even think about that. But, folks, if you feel like there's something wrong with you and doctors keep pushing you off, don't believe the doctors. Believe yourself, because you know what's going on with you. Doctors don't. They're not in your body. I mean, that's my Dr. Phil moment for today. But I do want to thank Fiona for coming on, because it's been an amazing show. But where can people... Oh, you just told them where to find you, technically. Was there any other socials you wanted to plug, or was that it?
I'm on Substack, fionaforhealth.substack.com. I'm on Telegram, also Fiona for Health, and Liberty, which is a Canadian social media site, librti.com/FionaT. It's a Canadian site, but of course everybody's welcome.
Yes. Resisting South Park jokes at this moment, but
Go for it.
folks, I thought I did this one last time on Thursday night, but I guess I'll do it one last time once again. You all know where you can find me. If you don't by now, shame. Just shame. I don't even have the energy to really go full out on you after last night, but shame. And listeners, check the outro. It's all there. Watchers, it's been the bottom of the screen. Stop being lazy and read. God damn it. But thank you, Fiona, for coming on. This has been an amazing kind of finale episode, at least for a while. And folks, I will see you in a couple months at the earliest, but check out the Spotify and all the other podcast streams. I'm still going to be releasing episodes that have been recorded the last 6 months, so if you missed some lives, you can catch up on them. Till next time, folks. Oh, you're entirely welcome. Folks, until next time, enjoy the cold winter. You can find me on Facebook as Jeremy Bryant, or you can find me as Uncensored, Unapologetic, and Untamed UQ Podcast Collective Facebook group. You can find me on Twitter and the Instagram as @JuggaloBastard, or should I say X now. And you can find me on TikTok as @JuggaloBastard Podcast. You can also find me on YouTube as Paranormal The New Normal. And you can also find me streaming on YouTube as Blind Knowledge Network, because all knowledge is blind until they admit Bigfoot exists.
Are you tired of the coffee crash? Still jittery an hour after your morning cup of coffee? Listen, I used to drink 5, 6, 7 cups a day to just keep going. The anxiety, the stomach pains, the afternoon crash, it was brutal. Then I discovered Rise Coffee, and everything changed. Rise has less than half the caffeine as regular coffee, but here's the magic. It contains 6 organic mushrooms, including cordyceps, lion's mane, and others that naturally sustain your energy without the jitters or crash. We're talking sharper focus, immune support, better gut health, and calm, sustained energy that lasts all day. Plus, it's organic, vegan, and has 0 added sugars. Unlike other mushroom coffees, Rise is USA grown in California, a full spectrum of mushrooms per serving that actually works. Here at Pod Nation, we only partner with brands we actually believe in, and Rise Coffee is the real deal. Head to risesuperfoods.com and use promo code PODNA15 for 15% off your order. That's PODNA 15 for 15% off. Ditch the crash, fuel your day the right way with Rise Coffee.